Yeah, because we haven't really done like a program update, and there's been a lot of shit that's been added. But anyways, my point is this is Sean's supply chain modules in here, or from the Canary guys. You guys can check that out. Sean can maybe talk about that later. I'll let him talk about it. I don't. That's his game. You guys should know that there's obviously the Q4 program here as well. So a lot of you guys, if you're new or if you who is driving, is that Mo driving right now? Love it, Mo. This is all like the master class in here. So like everything you need to know about Q4 is in here. I think most of you guys know this, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. The creative blueprint is also here. You guys also have the BFCM ads for Inspo, and then there's also the Q4 ad creative templates here as well. I should probably just merge those two together. But if you guys need like Black Friday templates, you guys can come in here, click into this, and then if you guys don't know anything about Canva, just make sure you like file, make a copy, and then you have all of the templates here for you to use. You know, don't be an idiot, change the colors, change the fonts, all that kind of shit. Make them your own. And then from there, for anybody who doesn't know the promo campaign stuff, it's all in here. Probably need to add an FAQ here, Sean, because I had a couple people asking, or saw a lot of people asking questions around this, just so it's clear for everyone. If you're running the broad, warm, and hot 90, and the warm 60 or hot 90 is eating shit, just turn it off. Or if you want, you can set a maximum budget on it. It's up to you. Just know that, again, it's going to be different from everyone. I mentioned in the video that I filmed that a lot of the times broad is going to take majority of spend. But if you just have a really full like funnel, Meta might push more on the warm 60 or hot 90. It all depends. Okay. So it's going to be different for everyone. Don't be worried if you see hot 90 getting a lot of spend or broad getting a lot of spend. It's going to change as it runs, because obviously there's probably some pockets that Meta has found for like retargeting that it's liking, or for a lot of you guys, you're like, oh, warm 60 is performing like shit. Then that's fine. You know, just, you guys can just kill it, or you can set a max budget that's low. So that's really it for this. Then in the Evolve program, this is the main thing that I want to go over with you guys, because there's been a lot of things moving around, and I know a lot of you guys have also probably been in the program and seen shit like disappear or like appear. Just know that no matter what, if you guys are like, where is this module? If you guys scroll down, you can find something called the Evolve Archive. Okay. So you guys can go in here and you can find there's some modules coming. But basically you guys can go in here and see any of these old modules. Okay. So any of these things, you're like, where is this? Like, I think someone's like, where's the how to never run out of ad ideas? It's not that these things aren't relevant anymore. They're just like not as up to date. And obviously like the whole goal here is to make sure that the program's evolving with you guys. Okay. But if you are looking at things, like I think people said they were looking for like how Sean would scale a brand or whatever it is, it's going to be in the archive. Okay. So you go in the classroom, you scroll down, you see Evolve Archive. That's where it's going to be. Okay. Going back to the program specifically, for those of you guys that like don't understand how we've structured it, it's actually supposed to kind of go in sequence. I know some people jump to specific things, but this is ideally now the structure that you should be following. Now, obviously, some of you guys have watched a lot of these modules, and you'll just kind of see that there's a lot of new modules that have been added into these two sections. But my point is step one is like, okay, like here's the overview, and I got to refilm this now as well. But the 60 plus winning ads doc, for anybody that's like looking for this or is like wondering where this is, it's right here. Okay. And I think most of you guys know this, but I get asked in the chat as well, like, hey, where's this? It's right here. And a lot of you guys should be studying this. I think every time I open this, there's always like a few people on it. Yeah, there's 22 people on it. This thing is definitely Gary. What is going on? Gary's been trying to join for like the last hour. What is this guy doing? This guy's like keeps joining and leaving. Anyways, my point is like, so the winning ads doc is here. This is the doc that you guys should be studying. And just so you guys know, I did add some new videos in here as well. So there's a bunch of new videos that you guys can go through. I recently broke down, I think it was one of these, one of the hollow sock ones, which we're going to get to in a second. But anything that's in like light gray, or like this darker gray rather, is new. And so if you guys scroll to these ones over here as well, you can see there's a bunch of new ones in here too. I haven't added the learnings to these yet. I will be adding the learnings to these. I just want to make sure that you guys are aware that we are constantly like going through and optimizing this as well whenever we find new winning ads and popping them in here. Okay. For those of you guys that are struggling with execution, I also had people asking about like copy for specific ads. You guys can click this down here and it will take you literally to the ad. So you guys will be able to see the exact copy, the exact ad, if Facebook wants to load today, the exact headline, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So you guys literally have the direct link. You guys can read comments and shit like that. Like you guys can see all this right here. Okay. That's just the 60 plus winning ad stock. Now, getting into like the actual structure, because this is where things start to begin. So the idea of why we start with the psychology around why ads work is so you guys can start to understand the difference between, and I think a lot of you guys know this, so I'm not going to spend too much time like harping on it, but you start to understand the difference between just structural shit and then learning what your customers actually care about. So you have to learn some of these fundamentals, which is obviously desires, awareness, sophistication, identification, and belief. A lot of these are probably going to get updated as well, but for right now, they explain the point. Like these are relatively evergreen to help you guys have a base level understanding of what's going on. Once you guys learn that, then it's a matter of going through and doing the research. And this is, according to a lot of you guys, like what you guys value the most is like figuring out what your customer actually wants. As crazy as it sounds, I'm probably going to go through and review a lot of this stuff as well, or like refilm a lot of this stuff too. But this is just going through like, hey, here's how you can gather research around your product, around your potential customers, all that kind of stuff. Okay. The reason why, for those of you that are wondering, like, what is this how to create avatar section? For those of you that haven't watched it, I think a lot of you guys have watched this, and this is probably like the most love I've ever gotten for a specific series, or like folder or modules in general. A lot of you guys like this stuff. And so if you're wondering like, why did I create this? Is because a lot of people were saying like, I don't understand how to take this research and how to like make an avatar. And then more importantly, I don't know how to make an avatar actionable. And so if you want to watch these, anything with this new symbol, by the way, means it's been filmed in like the last couple of months. Okay. And so if you want to watch these in order, you can see how I break down, and there's prompts and stuff like that in here as well, like new stuff, like incorporating AI and basically everything. This really helps you break down your product, and it's a crazy thumbnail. Then this helps you really understand like desires on another level, and most importantly, like actioning the desires, because a lot of this stuff here is like theory. And so I'm not really actioning it in ecom specifically. And so that's what a lot of these modules do. They help you guys understand how to action this stuff. Then I get into like market sophistication, new mechanisms, and new information. Just so you guys know, like this new mechanism prompt, I honestly feel like is the best prompt in the whole program. Like this thing is like 3 for 3 for finding winning mechanisms for our brands that are helping us scale to like 40, 50K a day in spend. So I just use this for another one of our brands right now. And now we're about to roll it out to see how it does. Because I was like, hey, I asked the team, I was like, guys, have we used this new mechanism for this one brand? They're like, no. I'm like, okay, well, we need to use it. So I'd recommend that you guys check this out. I also recommend doing the new information stuff as well. It's another prompt that's just going to do like deep market research for you to find new information. And then we get into like this module around how to find identities, which then leads to this avatar training, which is, it's long. Okay. So avatar training is about 2.5 hours. I know a lot of you guys who are probably on this call have probably watched it. Those of you that haven't, if you want to chunk it up, you can. Like, just understand the action item after this module is to take a breather, okay? Because there's a lot of information. But the whole goal of this is to completely like flip the way you guys build avatars, okay? It starts to go from this idea of like this avatar that you keep in mind where it's like, oh, I'm going after people who are, I don't know, like wanting to lose weight, to actually like getting specific and knowing how to actually target them. Okay. So this is like, I think like a 28 plus page. I can't see. Yeah. 33 pages. So it's very long, but the point of this is like, it's going to hopefully completely shift the way that you see avatars. A lot of people are getting like, at first kind of, I don't want to say overwhelmed, but like, holy shit, there's so many different avatars. Just know the goal of this avatar training is to help you guys create angles. Okay. It's all about angles. Like the reason why you build an avatar is so that your angles are more relatable. And so that's what this does. It just helps you find angles that are more relatable. So once you learn that, I then show you how to build the core avatars, which is basically like your desires, like targeting desires, and then sub avatars, which is where you start to go deeper to try to understand the customers. Okay. So this series, if you guys haven't watched this and you're struggling to like maybe find new angles or stuff like that. The problem with this series now is people are too overwhelmed with the amount of angles that they have. Okay. And so that is the goal, is to show you guys how to action this stuff. So this thing is totally brand new. It's like how to action everything. The next modules here are then how to plan ads. So this is something that I mentioned, I think in previous weeks, where our how to create ads section was like just really like put together. And it wasn't really how to create ads. It was more like how to plan ads. And so what I've done now is I've recreated this in a way where after you've gone through this avatar training, or once you have a bunch of angles, I then start to define things for you guys. Okay. So I define what 322 means. I define what concept means, what swing means, what angle means, variations, format. I start to define all this stuff for you. So that way we can communicate on the same level. And then from here, I show you guys how to take your avatars and turn them into angles. And then I get into these different testing methods. And then this is a module that I got a lot of good feedback on, at least from the survey. A lot of you guys like this module because it just shows me like putting everything together. So everything from the avatars to the desires to the strategies or how to test it, plus, all of these different definitions. I show you guys how to put all this stuff together. Once you guys have gone through that, there's 2 new modules here that basically helps you guys understand that we're actually still in the process of updating our growth guide. Sean and myself and Carlo are getting together. Carlo's actually on his way to Vegas right now. I'm meeting him later today. We're going to start building out a new advanced growth guide. So if you guys have tuned me out a little bit, this is kind of exciting. So tune back in. We're going to be focusing on like really optimizing this and giving you guys a bunch of different variations. So we might be creating, shout out to Daniel. Daniel's a guy who's scaled to 100K per day, I think multiple times now, like with different brands. He has a visual growth guide. And so we're likely going to be optimizing a more visual growth guide. I think some of you guys have asked about this and chat about this, and we're going to kind of work on like an evolved version of it. We're also going to be working on more of like an iteration roadmap, because I know a lot of you guys are always asking about iterations and stuff like that. So we're going to make that a lot more easy to track. And then we're also going to optimize this basically off of some of the new training. So for those of you guys that haven't seen it, there is like an Evolved Growth Guide 2.0, because what I found with the original one, and the original one is still really good, is we just like, even our team, we just don't use this shit. Like we never really look at this. Like we do, but it's like we just fill it out to fill it out. Whereas now, like with this new one, and again, we're still optimizing it. This is just like the, I guess, 1.5. It's not really a 2.0. It's following this new avatar train of like, okay, what are the desires? And then what are the angles? And then here we can go from, okay, what is the desire? What is the avatar that we're creating? And then what is the angle that we're going after this person with? Okay. And so there's this new version of it for those of you that have been through the avatar training and want something that's like more relatable to that. That is there. But again, we're going to be optimizing this even further. Now, these modules down here are for the original growth guide. So if you still want to see how we would fill out the original growth guide, because a lot of people have scaled up to 100K per day with it, it's still there for now. I haven't put that in the archive yet, but it is here for you guys that want to use the existing growth guide, and that's what you're comfortable with, right? That is how to plan ads. And so the goal of this section is like, okay, I'm now ready to make ads, right? And if you guys can't tell, there's literally like 1, 2, 3, 4 modules just to get ready to make ads. So that goes to show you that 80-20, it's like 80% of your ad is research and planning. Okay. And then when it comes to writing it, that 20% is very, very important, but like you have to spend so much more time preparing for it, which is why a lot of people in Evolve do succeed, is because some of you guys have pretty good copywriting, shout out to Golfam chops. You guys are really good at, or some of you guys who are just like natural copywriters, you come in here and you learn this shit and you just murder it. But obviously not everybody is like that. Okay. And so that's where this new section, like this has been probably updated the most with a ton of new modules to help you guys how to execute better. So if you're a more advanced copywriter, this stuff might be a refresher for you. But even then, I still think it's good to go through. And so you'll notice here, I make an overview, kind of like what I'm talking about right now, where again, I mentioned this in the announcement bar. If you guys didn't see it, I am working on a massive copywriting program. I'm going through right now as well, just so you guys know, and like doing some market research to just see like what other copywriting programs are out there. What are people teaching? What are they like? So I'm going through and just trying to, my goal with Evolve is just to try to cover everything. Like that's why it takes me a while to kind of do this shit. So we're going to be going through and just ideally giving you guys strategies where it's like, okay, try storytelling style, try podcast style, try analogies, or try applying different levels of valence, or try applying escalation, right? All of these different things, and even helping you guys understand specific things like how to create open loops, and doing that, because I know this was a lot of feedback, doing this for specific niches as well. So supplements, for fashion, for tech, for whatever it is, we're going to try to help you guys as much as possible see how to actually write ads. So that is what I'm working on right now. That is going to be probably a behemoth. And that's why the title of this is Evolve 2.0 question mark is because this might actually, like, there's so much to cover for execution that I'm likely going to have to create probably an entire new program, another 20 plus modules just for the execution stuff. So that is what's coming. Welcome, Jerome. But for you guys to know what's going on through here, I think there's two modules that everybody should watch. Number one is the execution problem. Number two is copywriting 101. I think these two modules are really, really helpful for you guys to better understand, like, or just check yourself on copywriting specifically to avoid making mistakes. If I can at least tell you like what not to do, that should help you do more of, what you should do. Okay. These two modules are really good. How to write image ads is basically like, again, more beginner level. It's going to go through. I literally edit in Canva for a lot of you guys that are still trenching in Canva or Figma or stuff like that. You guys can watch this video. I then have how to write image ads part 2, where I actually get into like Nano Banana and shit like that. I'm screwing around and making ads. I then get into part 1 and part 2 of video writing. Okay, there's also a massive prompt here. I think this is again like another 30 plus page prompt. This one is different from the AI program. The AI program is the one that the agency uses. This is the one that I just made myself. So we're split testing it right now. The agency one is the one that we still use, but we're trying to see which prompt gives us a better, output. So our team is testing that currently. You then have the famous how to write hooks that bang from Sean, script writing from Sean. And then this is something that I think everybody should watch. I had a guy message me already that he got upsold by this. But if you guys have editors and they're not in ecom talent, I honestly don't know what you guys are doing. I start this off and you guys can see in the screen here. We had an editor who was 3 months into like his ecom career, I think. He's been in ecom talent for like 3 months or something like that. Using what was in ecom talent, he made an ad that was spending $15,000 a day for one of our brands. And some of you guys have never even made an ad that spends $15,000 per day yourselves. Okay. And so what I'm talking about here is like one of the biggest things that I think honestly has led to our success this year is like treating our editors not like just these freaking machines that you just feed scripts to and they shit them out. Like you need to like bring your editors up to a whole new level and you need to start treating them with a lot of respect and you start investing into them. Okay. A lot of you guys are being held back by your editors because they execute like shit and you guys don't know that they execute like shit. And so once you actually see the quality of like what is in ecom talent, and even if you yourself are kind of editing this stuff, there's guys in here that were doing $1 million a month editing their stuff, which is beyond me. You guys need to go through and look at this, right? You guys are paying $1,200 a month, $1,000 a month for Evolve right now. If you can afford $90 even just for 1 month to train your editor, one, I don't know what you're doing. Two, you probably have the wrong editors and you need to get new editors. Okay. So this is something that was just in the plug section. But as I mentioned, I'm doing you guys a disservice by not telling you to go into this. There's a lot of shit that, Sean and I will, hey, use this software. And yeah, it's great if we get a commission. Like I don't even give a shit about the commission on this stuff. I just want you guys to actually have editors that don't suck because it will help you so much. Okay. So you can go through this and I'm telling you like this will hopefully help a lot of you just in itself. There's also a module here from Ecom Talent that's like how to source. If you guys are really cheap, you're like, I don't pay $90, I'm going to do it myself. Go through it. You guys can see how we're sourcing content. There's also static ad templates in here, and there's still this video around like how to make, how to clone ads from Atria and stuff like that. So this whole section, again, this is like the newest section, just has a bunch of information around how to make ads. I'm going to stop for a second, Sean. Is there any questions on this in the chat, or am I good to keep going?
Nope. All good.
All right, we're still holding strong. Retention's good here. There's a lot of yapping, guys. I'm almost done. From there, we've now implemented a how to run ads. This is relatively the same. This is everything around like setting up your ads, the structure, all that kind of shit. Okay, so if you're wondering how do I run ads, you go to the how to run ads section. Then we've segmented this out to how to manage ads. And so this is when we're getting into like how to scale, how to make decisions, how to deal with like roller coaster performance, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So that's in here. And this is something that we're going to be adding more to as well. And this is like for somebody who is super, one CBO, chat scale, let it rip. I want you guys to know that you can scale to 100K per day with tons of different media buying strategies. There's a guy in Apex right now that scaled up to 100K per day in spend, and he wasn't running one CBO. Now, where everybody gets like, oh, whoa,